In this lesson, we'll be looking at making the graph of a straight line using the intercepts. You only need two different coordinates to construct any straight line. 2 points you can find are called the axial intercepts. You can see the axial intercepts in this graph. This is the y-intercept at 0, 4, and this is the x-intercept at 0, 2 for the straight line 2x plus y equals 4. They can be found because of these two facts. Everywhere you go on the x-axis, every point y is equal to 0. Everywhere you go on the y-axis, you'll notice that the value of x always stays equal to 0. So, if we use these facts in the equation of a straight line, when we set y equal to 0 and solve this equation for x, that gives us the coordinate of the x-intercept. And if we set x equal to 0 and then solve for y, this gives the y-intercept. However, we can save time if the equation already has y by itself. We just look at it. Y equals mx plus c. Remember, c is the y-intercept. Before we do some examples, let's look at sketching versus graphing. Sketching can save us a lot of time. Graphing requires ruling up the axes on graph paper, marking a scale on each axis, plotting carefully each point on the straight line, and then using a ruler to draw the straight line. Sketching doesn't use a ruler, we just use neat freehand. We mark each point approximately to scale relative to each other. Then we label all the important features. Here are some examples. We're going to sketch the graph of each straight line. The first one is y equals 3x minus 6. Notice y is by itself already, so we can see the y-intercept is minus 6. To find the x-intercept, we set y equal to 0 in the rule, and we get x by itself. First, we have to change the side and change the sign of the minus 6. It becomes a plus 6. Then we have to get x by itself. It's being multiplied by 3, so we divide everything by 3. The 3's cancel out and leave x by itself. We can put it on the left, and 3 goes into 6 twice. So the x-intercept is 2, 0. So we draw ourselves a set of axes and label them. We put a dot at the x-intercept of 2, 0 about here, and we put another dot roughly relative for the y-intercept about here. Once we've got them labelled, let's sketch the straight line in as neatly as we can and label it with its rule. The second example, sketch y equals 5 minus x. You can see y is by itself again. C is the number that's not next to the x. Here, minus 1 is next to the x, so the y-intercept is 5. The x-intercept, we set y equal to 0 in the rule, so 0 equals 5 minus x. Again, we're going to change the side and change the sign. So I'm going to pick the x up now, take it over there, becomes positive x. And so you can see x is equal to 5. So we draw our axes and label them. Let's mark the points in. There's 0, 5, and here's 5, 0. Label the points and sketch the straight line in. And label the rule, y equals 5 minus x. In the third example, 2x plus y equals 4. Y is not by itself, so this time we're going to use the full method. For the y-intercept, we set x equal to 0. This term disappears. 2 times 0 is 0, leaving y equals 4. That's the y-intercept. For the x-intercept, set y equal to 0, so the y disappears, leaving 2x equals 4. Divide both sides by 2 to get x by itself, and so we can see that x equals 2. So we put the x-intercept about there, 2, 0. And put the y-intercept in about there, sketching the straight line. For the y-intercept in the next example, set x equal to 0, so the 3x here will disappear. And we're going to divide by negative 2 to get y by itself. The negative 2's cancel and leave y equals negative 3 is the y-intercept. For the x-intercept, set y equal to 0 so that this term disappears. Divide both sides by 3 to get x by itself. The 3's cancel, giving us an x-intercept of 2. A straight line and label it with its rule. Sketch y plus x plus 2 equals 0. To find the y-intercept, set x equal to 0. So the x disappears, leaving y plus 2 equals 0. Change the side, change the sign. The y-intercept is minus 2. For the x-intercept, set y equal to 0, so that disappears, leaving x plus 2 equals 0. Change the side, change the sign, gives us an x-intercept of minus 2 as well. And sketch in the straight line and label it with its rule. In our sixth example, to find the y-intercept of 3x minus 2y plus 5 equals 0, set x equal to 0. 3 times 0 will make this term disappear. We have minus 2y plus 5 equals 0. Change the side, change the sign, and get y by itself by dividing by negative 2. So the negative 2's cancel. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, so our y-intercept is at positive 2.5. Mark that on our graph. For the x-intercept, set y equal to 0, so this minus 2y term becomes 0, leaving 3x plus 5 equals 0. Change the side, change the sign, and to get x by itself we divide everything by 3. That gives us an x-intercept of negative 5/3 or negative 1 2/3. Let's mark that on our graph and draw in our straight line and label it with its rule. Sometimes this method can give us intercepts at x equals 0 and y equals 0. This is the one point only, and we need 2 points to sketch a straight line. Now we can find a second point in this case by letting x equal any easy whole number and calculating the value of y. And that gives us the second point we need to sketch these straight lines. Let's sketch y equals 4x. Y is already by itself, and there is no y-intercept next to it. That means the y-intercept is actually 0. So now we need to choose a whole number value for x. Let's just choose x equals 1. We replace it into the rule. 4 times 1 gives us 4, so we know the point x equals 1, y equals 4 lies on the line. So we sketch the y-intercept at 0, 0, and we put our other point we just calculated at 1, 4. Label the points, sketch in the line, and label the straight line's rule. In our last example, sketch y plus 7x equals 0. So for the y-intercept, set x equal to 0, so the 7x disappears. So this gives us a y-intercept at 0, 0. So now we need to choose a whole number value of x to be able to find a second point. So if we let x equal to 1 and replace that in the rule, y plus 7 times 1 equals 0, y plus 7 equals 0. Change the side, change the sign, so y equals negative 7. So the point 1 and minus 7 lies on the line. So we sketch our axes and label them, put in the y-intercept at 0, 0, and then plot the point 1 minus 7. Sketch in our straight line, label the rule.